Hello guys, welcome back to a new video today. Happy Mario Day, or March 10th. And and this is going to be another tier list video. It's actually very different from Mario. This is actually about George Harrison, the former Beatle who went on to create one of the most successful post-Beatle solo careers out of all four of them. But George put out 10 mainline solo albums after the Beatles broke up. I'm not counting some of the experimental and live album stuff just because I don't really feel they fit in. So, yeah. This is going to be like his 10 mainline solo albums. We're going to start here with, on the list here, this is 33 and a third. I'm going to put it in the B tier. 33 and a third, pretty great album, like, very funky album, which funk is a genre that I tend to enjoy a lot. 1976, it released. It was his first under his own record label, Dark Horse Records, and it includes a lot of great songs. This song, I love it. I also enjoy Crackerbox Palace, the ending track, Learning How to Love You, the opening track, Woman Don't You Cry For Me, as well as Beautiful Girl, and I enjoy many of the other tunes. Like, it's a great album overall. Alright. Next on the list, though, is the complete opposite. Gon Troppo, I'm putting you in F tier. Like, Gon Troppo, I mean, yes, Gon Troppo does have some good songs on there, but it is not a good album at all. It's pretty garbage. Like, Mystical One, as well as Unknown Delight, and that's the way it goes. And I could say Dream Away as well, are good songs, but the others just bring it down so much. Like Circles, which is actually a holdover from the White Album, pretty boring. Like the opening track, Wake Up My Love, it's just way too poppy for me, way too. The and then I Really Love You, the cover of the Stereo song. I think that's where it's from. The cover of it is just so terrible. Like, it's so terrible. Like, skip it every time you listen. Grease is fine, but like, it's just a pretty bad album. All right, Dark. Next up is Dark Horse. I'd say Dark Horse would go into like the C tier category. Dark Horse could have been a really good album, but it's just not really that great. Mostly just because of George's hoarse voice. There was actually a running gag at the time where they added an A into the word horse. I mean, Dark Horse, it's got some good songs. The title track, obviously, really good one. Ding Dong Ding Dong, I did like for a while, but after listening to it many times again, like, the hoarse voice just really hurts it for me. The opening track, Harry's on Tour, I love it. The opening instrumental. You don't really see many instrumentals from George. What else is there? Does a lot of work with Tom Scott on this album. You also got So Sad. I really despise his rearrangement I really despise his rearrangement of the Everly Brothers song Bye Bye Love. I really hate it. And I do like Far East Man as well as Maya Love. Both of them pretty underrated George songs. But overall, just not really a good album. Alright. Brainwashed. Brainwashed is very underrated. It's a really underrated album. Although at the same time, there are also some tracks that I feel hold it back a little bit from being higher. Marwa Blues is probably in maybe my top 10, maybe even top 5 George Harrison songs. It's an instrumental, but I've cried listening to it before. Like, Marwa Blues is just so beautiful of a song. And I mean, this was the album that he wanted to put out, like, before he became too ill to work on it, but unfortunately, it was too late, and he ended up dying before it was released, and thanks to the work of Danny Harrison and Jeff Lynne, they were able to complete it, and we were able to see this masterpiece released. I mean, I love the opening track, Any Road. Rising Sun is a really beautiful one. Stuck Inside a Cloud, really emotional tune. I do like Never Get Over You. as well. And I'm not a big fan of the closing track, Brainwashed, which is the title track, but the last like 2 minutes of the song are like the perfect way for George to end his career, to end his solo career. Like hearing the chant with the tabla in the back, like it's just beautiful. And then we got George's self-titled album, George Harrison. This one was released in 1979. There's a lot of great songs on this album as well. Uh, the opening tune, Love Comes to Everyone, with the Clapton solo, I love it. Faster is a really great tune, as well as, of course, Blow Away, you can't forget about that. Many other good songs, like Dark Sweet Lady, that one also probably fits into that same category as Marwa Blues. And then you also have Your Love Is Forever and the closing track, which the closing track, If You Believe, which was a collaboration with Gary Wright. And by the way, if you guys haven't been able to tell already, I'm not talking about every song on these albums because it would take too long. But yeah, his 1979 album, pretty decent one. Cloud 9. This one I got close to putting B tier, but I just feel it belongs in the A tier. Cloud 9 is one of George's best. I mean, it's not his best, we'll get to that later, but Cloud 9 was really his comeback album for sure. Like, I like the opening track with the dueling guitars between he and Eric Clapton. I love it. Jeff Lynne's production all around it. That's What It Takes is a really good song. I love Fish on the Sand as well. Some songs I don't really enjoy, Just for Today and Breath Away from Heaven, not really my favorites. Of course, you can't forget Got My Mind Set on You, which is the finale track. Devil's Radio, This Is Love, When We Was Fab, those three are all really good songs as well. And I even enjoy Wreck of the Hesperus a lot. I enjoy that one too. Especially the horn section. Alright. Extra Texture, I'd say D tier. Extra Texture is not a good album. And this is more of like a contract obligation album just because he had to do one more album for Apple, which was dying. He was required to do one more album because it was part of his contract. And he recorded it pretty quickly. I think it only took him like 2 weeks to like record all the basic tracks for the album. I mean, the opening track, it's a classic, one of George's best, even though it's definitely high in the key for him, like, considering that it was meant for Ronnie Spector, who unfortunately passed away earlier this year, sadly. But yeah, Ronnie Spector, you can even kind of hear her backing vocals a little bit. And then I love the answers at the end, the track that follows it. And then you can't forget about This Guitar Can't Keep From Crying. That one is also classic. Like, Jesse Ed Davis's guitar playing, really great. Some other tracks I enjoy, like, I enjoy part of World of Stone, the ending guitar solo, which I believe is either George playing it, or Jesse Ed Davis kind of saves the song from being bad. Like, I enjoy that ending guitar solo there, but the rest of the song just ain't great. Great Cloudy Lies is just okay. I mean, the final track, His Name Is Legs, is a pretty nice, like, way to get back into the swing of things. Like, it's just a slow tune after the next. Like, there's so many just slow songs, considering that this was where George was at the time. Like, pretty slow with life. Like he was no longer with Patty Boyd, although he was now with his future wife Olivia, but things were just very down for him. Alright, next album, Somewhere in England. This one gets debated a lot about. I mean, there are definitely some good songs on this one, but also, I mean, obviously All Those Years Ago is a great tune, and then you also have to put into consideration Life Itself and Unconsciousness Rules. I enjoy those two, as well as Writing on the Wall. No, not the Sam Smith song. George actually had a song called Writings on the Wall. I can't remember what it's called. That one's a pretty beautiful one as well. But a lot of the tracks just are not good. Teardrops, terrible song. It's garbage. The Hoagie Carmichael covers just don't fit in at all. I mean, they're kind of nice, but they don't fit in. Save the World is it just goes too far in places. Like, it's it's just making leaps everywhere. Although I will give credit, the demo of the song that was put on as a bonus track, that the demo put in as a bonus track, I love it. I forgot to actually mention the demo of Here Comes the Moon, which George also released on his self-titled album. I love the demo for that. Like the demo for Save the World here, I wish he included that one instead of this track. Like I mean I know it's obviously not finished, but I wish that the Save the World demo ended up being used instead. And some other tracks like Blood from a Clone just ain't really a good song. It's fine, but like not that good. And yeah. And then we have another A tier song, Living in the Material World. I love this album by a lot. And it's definitely up there for one of his best. Obviously, the opening track, Give Me Love, Give Me Peace on Earth. And I mean, the rest of the album really just stands up with it, like, very well. I really, like, Sumi Suyu Blues, pretty groovy tune. Although I will admit, I actually kind of like the live version a little better that he played in the 1974 Dark Horse Tour. I kind of like that version a bit better, because I don't know why. And then Light That's Light the World, great one. Don't Let Me Wait Too Long. I wish that got released as a single. Sadly, it didn't. I love the title track. Very funky tune, especially thanks to Gary Wright's uh, keyboard playing. And Lord Loves the One. I love that one. The last two songs, The Day the World Gets Round, and That Is All. I love those songs. They're underrated as hell. And last but obviously not least, I could make another tier for this. Like, it is by far the best George Harrison album. All Things Must Pass. And honestly, if I could, but because I'm keeping it to just 6 tiers, All Things Must Pass is by far George's best album. Like, you can't compare anything else with it. Once you immediately get into, like, the first, like, there's not even a bad song on it. Oh, except for, like, one on the Apple Jam, It's Johnny's Birthday. I don't like that one. But, like, I mean, I know it was meant to celebrate Lennon's birthday, but I tend to skip that one a lot when listening. But All Things Must Pass, like, I could name almost every song. The only ones I just kind of have a little issues with are maybe I Dig Love, but at the same time, that one's still okay. And I even like the second version of Isn't It a Pity, believe it or not. Like, I can name every song on the album. Like, obviously the title track is a masterpiece, My Sweet Lord. I'd Have You Anytime. Wah Wah is the version 1 of Isn't It a Pity. Of course, What Is Life? All of disc 1 is platinum tier, maybe even higher than platinum tier. If Not For You, Behind That Locked Door, like, Let It Down, like, even Run of Them, like, every song there. I mean, George just had so much other material for this album that I wish could have been included, but regardless, the stuff he included is just incredible. And then, of course, disc 2, Beware of Darkness. Apple Scruff's kind of a bit funny. Let It Roll, even Let It Roll is a nice one. Waiting on You All, definitely Phil Spector. Phil Spector definitely overproduced it, though. I can definitely agree with the people who say that. Art of Dying, really enjoy that one. And then, of course, like, I did mention the second version Isn't It a Pity, and Hear Me Lord. I actually named all of the mainline songs on the whole album, I think, just because of how much I love the album. Like, Hear Me Lord is just really underrated as well. Like, George Harrison, he's been one of my idols, and he was kind of one of the people that got me into music. Like, outside of being with the Beatles. Like, of course, the Beatles were the ones that really got me into enjoying rock and roll, of course. But George Harrison's solo career made me love it even more. I mean, John Lennon had a really good solo career. I may do a tier list video on that one too, where on his solo albums. Only thing is, I gotta listen to Milk and Honey in order to do it. But I just love, but like, George probably had the biggest impact on me. out of all four Beatles. Like, I've seen Paul in concert, I've seen Ringo in concert. Paul has a really good solo career. Ringo has some good albums, but like George Harrison just had the best impact on me, I think, out of all four of them. So I'm gonna wrap up this video here, guys. Well, where would you guys have ranked each album? Make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell as well, and share my channel with others if you want. I'll see you guys in the next video or live stream. Goodbye.